You wake up, make coffee, check your phone, live your life. But what if this isn't real? What if none of this is happening? What if you're actually in a coma, lying in a hospital bed somewhere, and everything around you is just a dream you haven't realized you're dreaming? Let's find out. A coma isn't just deep sleep. It's a state of profound unconsciousness, where your brain shuts down most conscious activity but keeps vital functions running. In real world terms, your eyes are closed. You can't move. You can't speak. But parts of your brain, like the default mode network, might still be active. And in rare cases, people in comas report vivid dreams, false realities, or even long imaginary lives. One man, after waking from a 19-year coma, claimed to have been fully conscious inside his mind, trapped. So what if this world, your job, your memories, your favorite song, was just your mind filling in the silence? Your brain is a pattern prediction machine. When deprived of input, like in sensory deprivation or a coma, it starts to generate its own world. Dream researchers have found that the brain doesn't distinguish well between real and imagined events during certain neural states. Lucid dreaming can feel as real as waking life and can last subjective years in just a few minutes of REM sleep. Some near-death experiencers report entire lifetimes lived in what was actually minutes, which means if you're in a coma right now, this life could be a dream simulation lasting seconds, while you think it's been decades. So, how would you know? You might not. But here are symptoms some coma patients report after waking: inconsistencies in reality, signs or words that change when you look again, people missing faces or conversations that loop, time jumps, where events don't logically connect, gravity glitches, mirrors behaving strangely, or tech acting off. And here's the scariest part: your brain filters out contradictions in dreams. It wants the world to make sense. So even if your coffee cup turned into a pigeon, you'd probably shrug and go on with your day. Let's go deeper. The brain in coma. Patients in minimally conscious states still show activity in areas like the parietal cortex, responsible for spatial awareness and self-processing. fMRI scans have shown locked-in patients imagining playing tennis and lighting up motor control areas despite being motionless. Time distortion. In REM sleep, 1 second can feel like 10 minutes. Your memory and dream centers, the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, work together to build consistent narratives, even in the absence of real events. So, if you were in a coma, your brain could be reconstructing an entire life, complete with pain, love, boredom, even TikTok, all as a placeholder until you wake up. This idea isn't new. Plato once said, "How can you prove whether at this moment you're asleep or awake?" The philosopher Descartes wondered if an evil demon was controlling his senses. Today, we call it the brain in a vat hypothesis, the thought experiment that you're just a brain being stimulated to believe this is real. Even some physicists and tech leaders say the odds we're living in the base reality are less than 1 in a billion. So maybe you are in a hospital bed right now, and your nurse just whispered something you almost heard. But instead, your mind turned it into a YouTube video. Let's say you wake up. For real, you'd remember a world that never existed, friends that never lived, a life full of fake emotions that felt real. The grief, the joy, the dreams, they'd vanish in a second. Your family at the bedside might look at you, smiling, but you wouldn't know them, because in your mind, you lived another life. Like the man who woke from a coma and said, I had a wife and kids, and they're gone now. So, what if you're actually in a coma right now? And this video was your mind's way of reminding you, wake up. But maybe you can't. Not yet. Because the dream isn't finished. And the truth is, maybe none of us really know when we're awake, or when we're just remembering.